So we have our design on the soap, and we're going to just put it on the front because we are making a low relief or a relief sculpt, and we are going to be using the back as our base, which just means a support structure for our leaf, which will allow us to get really detailed with it and kind of allow it to be more delicate. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this down a little closer. There we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to just connect my dots. And I want to be really careful while I'm doing this because this is defining the parameter of my sculpt, and as much as I'm going to work on this, these lines are really important, and that's why we worked so hard on our Carva-Sketch to get to this point so that we have really beautiful lines effortlessly at this point. We don't want to be trying to be creative when we are making our first cuts into our material when we're sculpting. We want to have all of that work done so we can focus on just technique, on just doing a good job, right? So that's why it's so important to have your design all under control before you ever touch your sculpting material. I know that sounds a lot less fun than just working freely, but a lot of times we don't get as good of results if that's the way that we decide to work. Now, working intuitively can be really fun too, but not until we gain the skills we need to work intuitively. And working intuitively means you don't have a plan, you just kind of do what you want, which is really fun after you get some skills put in place. So I'm just connecting my dots and defining my positive and negative space. I'm not cutting in too deep, and the soap cuts really, really nice and softly, smoothly. So here I go again, just finishing up my design. And after I get my design cut in, then I get to begin taking away the outside edges of my soap bar. I'm also going to go ahead and just make a line down the sides of my soap bar. I'm not going to carve past about this line, okay? That's going to help me to I've got my stem wrapping around down here. I forgot to get those. So I'm just going to make sure that I don't carve past that line, and that's going to help me so that I don't end up with a broken soap bar. This is going to be my support structure, my base. And you'll notice if you look at carvings, sculptures, a lot of times the base is made out of the same material. It's just the area that's not being cut into. So there we are ready to start taking our soap away from the outside edges. There we go. That's a little bit better. Try to get my video to not be blurry. having a hard time getting it to see it, aren't I? Looks like I have too much light. There we go. So you can see here that I've defined my positive space, and that's where my leaves are, and what I need to start doing is taking away my negative space. So I'm just going to make lines coming away from what I'm working on and just kind of carve into the soap that way. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do cross hatches. Now you don't want to dig in too deep on the soap, or you'll cut into your positive space where your leaf belongs. But this is a great way to kind of get rid of some soap quickly that's also gentle. So you can use this tool, or my favorite tends to be this wire tool. And we're just going to push back this soap that does not fit with our design. We're going to just gently take it away. Now, soap carving, any carving, whittling, is a slow process. It's not super fast, and it requires us to look at it. So you guys might remember that we learned how to meditate. And meditating is the act of thinking about one thing, letting everything else go. And carving is an act of meditation, because if you don't focus, things won't turn out. So this is a different kind of meditation. It's an active meditation where you're not thinking about your breathing, but you're just thinking about taking away. You're just taking away the extra soap. That's all you're doing. Just thinking about where I should take away that extra soap. And just going to work in an area until I can see that there's a very good difference here, right? Now I can go down this deep, but I don't have to do that just this second. I don't have to do that right now. I have the freedom, because it's my sculpt, to work wherever I want for as long as I want. So if I get bored of working over here, then I can go up here and I can say, okay, well, I want to take out this soap here, and I'm just going to pull it out, and I can take out all the way down, or I can just take out some. And when your eyes start to wander from an area, when you start feeling bored, move to a different area, because when you're carving, you have to keep your eyes on your project, or you're going to really be unhappy with what happens. It really requires your eyes. So while you're carving, you can listen. You can listen to things, music, books, podcasts, but you can't watch things. So I don't suggest watching videos, anything that's going to be something that you might just want to steal a glance while you're carving. It can be really detrimental because you can't put it back. So you're just going to take your time. You're just going to move around and work on your leaf or whatever it is you're carving. Just slowly think about what you're taking away. Leave your positive space. It's going to look really flat for a while. It's going to look like you have a flat block leaf, and that's okay. That's okay. That's where we're going to start. Okay, keep going. We'll see how it looks when you're done.